Let's go talk about this James Harden trade, yo, because it went down since last time. We knew it was finna happen. We just didn't know what the package was and when it was gonna go down. And there was some uncertainty because the Clippers or the 76ers were looking like they were not gonna budge, but it went down. Let me read you this trade summary. So the Clippers get James Harden and PJ Tucker. Sixers get Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, KJ Martin. And multiple draft picks and pick swaps. So
first rounders, right?
Yeah. I'm not too sure. There was one in there. There was a couple pick swaps. I don't have it here. Underdog just said pick swap, so I'm not gonna research the rest of it right now. But it's a 2028, I believe, first round unprotected. One of them is for a fact, and the pick swaps. Don't quote me on the specifics of those. I'm not too sure. But some notes to note about this trade. Before we get into evaluating it, I just want you guys to know these things because it could affect how you look at this trade. So all the Clippers players that they traded for are expiring. So Morris, Batum, Covington, Martin, this is all the last year of their deal. They're off the books this season. And they're also eligible to be traded again by the trade deadline. So the 76ers did this trade where they're able to flip these guys again if they want to by the trade deadline because the statute or whatever that the league requires is going to be up. And additionally, so the fact that these players are expiring, the 76ers will have $100 million, in excess of $100 million of cap space this summer, to sign whoever they want, with this trade because they freed up James Harden and all these guys coming off the books. So, also got some first rounders. So, because of that, I'll go ahead and give my thoughts for Philly. I thought it was pretty decent because of those factors. Once I learned about this whole situation, because I think they were never going to get back fair value for Harden, especially with the situation, the fact that he was asking out already and, made a whole public outcry. He was never playing for the 76ers again, and he only wanted to go to the Clippers.
Daryl Morey is a
bro
liar.
went to China.
They didn't even know what he was talking about.
Yeah, they were like, who?
James Harden! Like, nah. Dude,
Yeah, facts. So the fact that they were able to kind of finagle their way, they didn't get the players that they really are going to help them this season, but they got the picks that they wanted, which Daryl Morey wanted. Unprotected in 2028. Ain't no way Kawhi and Paul George will be on Clippers in 2028. And probably not James Harden
They're not
either.
going to be in the league.
Yeah, that part. So, I like what they did with the picks that they ended up getting. I like the fact that they're able, the two things that I mentioned, the fact that they're able to be traded again and the $100 million of cap space is huge because I think we're talking about Embiid potentially getting traded, but the way Maxey has looked and the fact that, they're going to have so much money in the offseason kind of puts a hold on that because it gives, you're able to give them this idea that, look, Maxey's having the most improved player season this year. We got $100 million cap space next summer. We can get you the help you need. It might not be these star players, but I looked into the free agency pool. A lot of good quality role players are in the free agency pool next season. OG Anunoby, who else is good? Pascal Siakam, a lot of Raptors guys. But quality role players are going to be in the free agent pool next year. So the fact that they're able to do that, not great. It's still not looking good. They're not going to be contenders this year unless they're somehow able to flip these assets again. Like I said, at the trade deadline, who knows? Maybe Zach LaVine's disgruntled. Yeah. I would really love that for them. Jeremy Grant, too, would be a good piece to get for them on a rebuilding team. Just any type of pieces.
They need to do something at the trade deadline because if they don't, Embiid's out, and you're not gonna. That money's gonna just be there.
Well, I'm saying though, the thing is, if they don't, there is some world where they can convince them in the offseason that we're gonna sign players. Now, if they don't sign anyone in the offseason, then it's he might be frustrated and request a trade.
Yeah, he's out of there, bro.
But the fact that they're able to have flexibility at least gives them and him some sort of way out where they can finagle a contending team around him, even though they're not able to get the assets for James Harden. So, although this isn't like obviously you're not going to win this trade getting this type of package back, but just the situation they put themselves in, I'm going to give them a B for the trade. And obviously I'm going to give the Clippers a B+ because they gave up virtually nothing for this. You're going all in, but at this point, you might as well.
Yeah, I'm about to say, no, I get the Clippers an A+.
Yeah. I wouldn't give them an A+. I wouldn't give them an A+ for the fact that
they just did a finesse, but that team doesn't
the trade doesn't move me itself.
You said it. You said this to me before. It doesn't move me it doesn't move me up in any way. Just like
really
stays neutral.
They definitely got better, but I wouldn't say like the Clippers got this whole new dynamic to them that like they just leveled up completely. They got better for sure, but I just don't know how this dynamic is going to work with James and Russ off ball because Russell Westbrook already, they don't even guard him off the ball. They literally play 4-on-5 without him.
See how they play them.
And then, we got to see. But with James Harden, he's not good off ball either. So now you got two people off ball. James Harden can shoot, so it's fine. But Russell Westbrook's a negative. But both of them don't move is the point I'm trying to make, is that they're not off ball movers. You never see these guys cutting or getting space open.
How many players are off ball movers? Like
Curry.
You're just gonna like the best
one.
to move off ball.
No.
Let's just go Stephen Curry, because everybody moves like Steph.
Curry. All right, a lot of players aren't, but
Curry.
there's a lot.
He immediately
stand on business.
Who's like shooters?
Austin Reeves.
Curry?
Austin Reeves.
No, but seriously though, there's a lot of players who maybe aren't, necessarily known for their off-ball movement, but even guys like LeBron, they cut a lot of the time. Even guys like Zach LaVine, they get backdoor passes, they go around screens. Just that type of stuff is all I'm saying, and that is what concerns me really. Is when James Harden's not doing his tween step back or setting other dudes up, what is he doing on offense, and how is that going to fit in with Russell Westbrook? That's the biggest thing for me, is them two on the court together is super concerning just because of their play style. We've seen it happen before multiple times. So and it hasn't worked. They literally had to trade all their centers because Russell Westbrook and they couldn't have anybody over 6'7" on the roster. That's how bad it was. So because of that, I'm not too sure on how the encore fit with him, but I guess they could bench Russ, but he's also one of your better players this year. It's just a tough fit for me in that aspect. But again, you gave up nothing for him. All these role players weren't doing shit for you. So it's like you're getting upgraded in that sense. And you were trying to trade for Malcolm Brogdon in the offseason, so you get basically a better point guard in that aspect without the injury concerns. So they upgraded in that sense. But again, I'm only going to give him a B+ because of that on-court fit, but at the same time, they gave up nothing. So I think, honestly, I won't say it's necessarily a win-win trade, but I think the 76ers did good for the situation that James Harden put them in.
Yeah, I completely disagree. I'll give the Philadelphia 76ers an F.
F?
Yes, an F. I think for the sole reason that I think they failed Joel Embiid.
You are smacking on Harden's pee-pee in your mouth. You are Josh
Harden.
I'm not talking. Yeah, you gotta hear what I have to say first.
No, that's what I'm saying. I want to hear what you have to say.
I got
the reason why I give him an F is not because of the James Harden situation. It's because of Joel Embiid. I think they failed Joel Embiid. Yes, he's only made it to the second round. He's a second-round merchant, but this guy's he's a world-class athlete. He's an MVP. He's done nothing wrong or done anything negative for the organization. This is how they set him up year after year after year. The team has never – realistically, the best chance they had was last year, and we saw how that played out.
Best chance they had was
Ben Simmons.
They let Jimmy walk.
Yeah,
Tobias Harris over me?
Yeah.
Exactly. Tobias Harris over Jimmy freaking Butler. This organization has failed them time and time again. Like I said, if they don't make – it's good that they got expiring contracts and players that they could trade if people want them. And if they don't, Joel Embiid is going to request out, and no one's going to say a damn word because he deserves better. The organization is treating him like trash.
He trusted the process.
And the process has failed because of the organization, too. I don't think they put him in great situations to win.
They're 3-1 without Harden. Like, they're playing good without him.
I'm saying, to win. This team, with that type of talent and that level of player, you expect a championship.
No,
straight up.
100%. They're not a championship-level team, but I'm saying they're good enough right now where you can convince them with more pieces, they'll be good enough. It's not like this is a bottom-feeding team where he sees, oh, my God, we're so bad. Like, we're not even close.
But how many years, man?
No. I'm saying this offseason. I'm saying I can't give him an F because they haven't done I'm giving him time to do with the cap space and the assets and the draft picks. I'm allowing them to do what they do. Obviously, if they keep this team, it's an F, but I don't think they're going to keep this team. I don't think Daryl Morey has made it abundantly clear that he wanted an all-star level player for Harden, but the situation that Harden put him in, it just wasn't going to happen.
He put himself in that situation too.
Okay,
he's
whatever.
the GM of the freaking team.
You can
with the player. I'll never play for him.
I was gonna ask you during your thing. I was like, when you're saying you give the organization an F, this is primarily a Harden factor too for what he did. Daryl Morey is part of the problem, but he kept it all behind the scenes.
He can only trade him to one team. What was he supposed to do?
Him putting himself out there like that,
so any
like
team that they traded him to would have been
made it impossible to get a good package.
That's because of who he is as a person too. Daryl Morey it's 50-50. It's not just James Harden.
But he kept it all behind the scenes.
Doesn't matter.
Once Harden brought everything.
So you can't give them the organization an F. It's a 50-50. At least give him a C.
What does Joel Embiid have to do with this? And this this hurts him.
I got to grade the trade. I'm not going to grade Joel Embiid, who's irrelevant to the trade.
Well, I think context matters for everything, right?
But I'm saying, I don't think
about the trade though. Why are we bringing up Embiid?
This isn't like the Lakers trading Anthony Davis and LeBron. Like, okay, now we're fucked. It's like they have a good team regardless of.
Do you think this trade positively affects the Sixers' future? Yes or no?
No.
If you're giving it an F, that's like you see no. like what Best said. He gave examples. He's like, they're tradable assets. They got pick swaps. They got picks.
They got
for that
100 million.
I say no because I think Joel Embiid's gonna ask out, and without Joel Embiid, this whole organization is cooked.
I get what you're saying.
It's not fair. Like you're assuming he's gonna ask out, and he's assuming that.
I'm making a prediction.
But you're assuming he's gonna ask out, and you're assuming that the cap space, the picks, the players they got, they're gonna do nothing with them.
I just disagree with that portion of you assuming Embiid. That's the only thing I disagree with.
How are you gonna assume? I don't know how you can assume. You got to grade
because of everything. I'm grading it.
He's saying this is gonna lead Embiid to leaving and not like ruining the franchise.
I can't agree with that because I don't think it will.
I don't think he's gonna stay. There's no reason for him to stay on that team. Tyrese Maxey is having a great season so far, but I don't think he can be a number 2.
So is Kelly Oubre, 20 points per game, 50, 40, 90. No, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I know. I know he's having a good season.
I gotta glaze Kelly a little bit. On a min too.
He wasn't even gonna show him the stat line.
On a min. All I care about for Joel Embiid is the postseason, and I know this postseason he has zero chance. And if he can predict the future of them not making it to the past the second round at least, then do you think Joel's gonna stay?
But the thing is, like, okay, he doesn't have a chance right now. But I'm thinking that number one, this is not the finished product of the team, and even if it is this season, I don't think like he'll give the GM the benefit of the doubt of one off season to make it right. I don't think if they lose this year, he's gonna immediately request a trade.
It's not one off season to me. It's his whole tenure as a Sixer. It's not bad. What is he? He's only been good for them.
True, but the GMs put him in positions to win. It's not like they've been inept in surrounding him with talent, bro.
The only year they did was the Jimmy Butler and the Kawhi shot was
last year was good too. They stunk it up. That was on the coach. That was on James Harden and him. There's no reason like he had to look himself in the mirror. Like they did a good job of surrounding him with talent. I'm not saying that their team was overpowered favorites, but they've definitely had chances to win and get to the finals. Like they could have beat who did they lose? The Celtics in the game 7. Like they were up in that series. They were up 3-2 and they blew 2 straight games. So like they definitely had a chance.
There's blame from him too, but
they could have easily beat
this season and like the way that it started and how the trade rumors and all that stuff are happening. Like Joel Embiid has never been a problem for like a locker room problem or anything for the 76ers. It's only been upper brass and like everything that's happening. So the reason why I grade this the reason why I have this team as an F for this trade is because I don't think they'll do anything with the assets, and I think Joel Embiid will leave eventually because I see his success as only being postseason success, and I don't see that happening this year. So it's an F for me.
I understand. I see your viewpoints.
Right. I do somewhat agree with Hassan when it comes to like they did trade him for a lot of cap space and they got those picks, but all those things are unproven, like unguaranteed things.
Yeah,
like
we don't know what the future.
Considering what Hassan was saying about Embiid, like he's obviously not the happiest there with his players and stars keep leaving, either quitting or leaving. It's been a long period of time. There's already been rumors about him wanting to be on other teams, so I don't think that obviously depending on where they get this postseason, and if they can actually flip them for the but I don't see them flipping those players regardless because it's just like.
Who wants them?
They're not bad players.
They're expiring contracts. Like teams are gonna want those at the very least.
Yeah.
Like teams are.
If these players contribute to winning right now,
who?
Morris.
No. I'm not saying they can't, but I'm saying like
for the expiring.
If you look at the team like the Bulls, right? They got all this money invested in DeRozan, Vucevic, and Levine. And if they want to blow it up, they're gonna have to get rid of those guys. So
they'll take those.
Yeah, they take the picks and those contracts, and they're off the books next season. You can get all this cap space. You don't have to pay luxury tax. You get time for your young players.
Yeah.
So
even if they do make a trade though for Levine and they get beat in the second round, does Joel even stay? Like,
now that's a different question. That's a different question. Now if they make a trade to upgrade this roster and they still lose, then
worse.
No, that's worse. But I'm saying
that's hella predicting and forecasting, but like hella like future second.
And it also depends who they trade for. Like if they trade for one role player like OG and nothing else,
I'll put my left nut on the 76ers not winning this year.
Okay, I mean you're not wrong, but
they're not winning. This is not.
I mean I could put my left nut on 29 teams not winning, like, and I'll be right. So. Shit, I get to keep my left nut 29 out of 30 times. So it's
facts.
Like
as far as the Clippers though, like
I don't think they necessarily have to win the championship for him to stay, but they gotta like make a run or something. They gotta get to the conference finals at least.
At least.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
It is hard, but if you make the conference finals,
the Celtics or the Bucks finish 1 and 2.
Yeah. But if you get there and you beat one of them out, that probably gives them enough confidence that this team
upsets happen. Upsets happen. Look at the Heat.
Possibly.
Look at the Heat.
Every series.
Oh,
every time they play.
In terms of the Clippers, though,
we can move on to the Clippers.
We can put a question mark.
Yeah, let's talk about the Clippers a little bit.
Because I don't know how they can't play all 4 of them at the same time.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Do you think Russ? I think the only option is Russ being benched.
But they will at
when
some.
it comes to the optics.
You can do it for.
They're going to start them. Like they're all going to start.
Starting.
No. Russ is going back.
Russ
to
is
the
going
bench.
on the bench.
Right now, I think they'll all start for now. But I think
what's for now? How
is
many?
good enough. I don't know, but I think Tyloo is good enough.
Probably 5 games. I give it 5 games. I'm not even joking.
Westbrook off the bench, like Westbrook off the bench and giving energy.
He has
like
come off the bench already.
Yeah, so I think that him having that type of energy and knowing where he is in his career will help.
Does Bones start right now? He needs to come off the bench too, bro.
Bones needs to come off the bench also. You just put in like Terrence Mann should start. He'll be a better fit.
They have kept on to that. They have kept on to that for way too long.
No,
but
they're scared of like an SGA being happening.
He's a great role player. He's like
they've had a good sample.
He's 27, bro.
Exactly. Give it up. He's a late player.
He's a poor man, OG Anunoby.
Very poor.
Yeah, that's right.
Borderline homeless.
But
borderline homeless.
The thing I'm more scared about is what James Harden said of him saying, "I'm not assistant player, I am assistant." Like, dude, you're 34 years old. Like, the mindset is the biggest thing to him for winning. Like, you got to know where you're at in your career. If he knows that all he has to do is be like a Chris Paul-esque type of player and get everybody involved and let everyone flourish and then get yours and be like a 13 and 12 type of guy, this team can win a championship. They have that level of play. But if he's trying to ISO tween, step back, and have Kawhi and PG take a backseat to him, that's not going to work. You got to realize who you are as a player in your career, or else you're going to be out the league next year. He's on an expiring contract. Like, no team wants that. And what's it called? He's been on 5 teams in 4 years.
Yeah,
that's a record. Like, people need to talk to him how to get traded, because obviously he knows what he's doing to get traded. Like, 5 teams in 4 years. Like, this is not a way for you to stay in the NBA, and people are going to see you as a bad locker room guy.
Damaging his legacy too.
Really? No, his legacy is
solidified, but like it looks bad.
But it's tarnishing. It's like it's tarnishing it a little.
People won't remember him for this. They'll remember him for his historic runs.
But it's just like, I just don't like. I agree with you with the comments. Like, those are just distasteful comments, because like in Houston and even to a degree in Brooklyn, it's understandable because he's that type of player. Like, he's elite MVP candidate. So
Brooklyn was understandable.
Yeah. He is the system in those situations, fully understandable. But he's at the point in his career where he has to like learn to adapt to play with different star players, because he's just gonna be on a team with other stars. We're past the point where he is the star player.
I think Tyloo will set everybody straight in terms of egos. You got to know that Kawhi's your guy.
Hopefully Kawhi and PG tell him, like, dude, like, I know you just came here.
Like, everybody that's been to the Clippers have had a good say for the team, and they understand what's going on. Even Westbrook knew he's the third option going into that team, and he took only $3 million this year. Like, he knows what's up.
I just don't know Harden's like that. Like,
I think they'll get him.
Westbrook's been playing kind of like he's had a lot of dumb mistakes so far this year.
That's him though.
That's his whole. That's him though.
When it comes to like his efficiency and his like effectiveness, he's still been playing.
He's been making the 3-ball too.
He's been playing really good this year. So
I think him coming off the bench will give the team a lot of energy, and then finishing the game. As long as you make his mindset like, I want to finish games, not start games. That's their best lineup. Those four and like
him finishing is a risk though, in my opinion.
No,
like, as much as I love Westbrook,
that's their best 5, regardless.
Dude, his mistakes and his inability of shooting scare me.
You can't have him and Harden on the court at the same time.
That's what I'm saying.
To finish games.
To finish,
I think you can.
I don't think you can. I think you need to have the 3, Harden, Paul George, Kawhi, and then figure out what you need based on the team you're versing, adaptability-wise.
Some games he could close.
Some games, so it depends.
Like, you can't have if you're playing a big man, like, you can't have Zubac, James Harden, and Westbrook. You're gonna be playing 2-on-5 essentially when Kawhi has the ball. It's bad. Like, it's gonna be bad.
I mean, Westbrook has to be the odd man out. Like, he needs to know this going into it. Like, Harden, PG, and Kawhi are the solidified big 3 for your roster.
Facts.
And like, if he can buy into that and knowing where he is in his career, like, I don't understand these guys as a type of. I know
Westbrook
you've been the best player.
Westbrook played off the bench for the Lakers.
Okay, and he didn't like it though.
But he was playing good though, wasn't he?
He didn't like it at all.
Hey.
Dude, he didn't even dap the guys up during the game. He was sitting on the other side.
That's
There's obviously bad tension and
mentality.
But these guys, the egos are kind of insane. I know you've been the best player throughout your career, high school, college, since you're a kid, but you got to understand where you are in your career also. Like, even star players that are the best, like Stephen Curry, LeBron James, they don't have egos like these guys.
Bro,
do.
LeBron literally doesn't want to be the best player anymore. He's literally like, AD, please, Anthony Davis.
He wants to play freaking 30 minutes a night.
He's just too good. It's just him.
Bro, Westbrook took $3 million.
Maybe it's just who they are.
He just wants to win now. Westbrook wants to win. He'll do whatever it takes.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
I don't know about Harden though. I agree. I can see Westbrook doing what he needs to do.
Westbrook's already taking that role by taking less money and agreeing to come off the bench. Like, that's already a step in the right direction.
Harden, maybe mentality wise he doesn't, but play wise it's always been to win games.
I don't know.
But his mentality's been a problem like for the past.
He hasn't changed his play style on any of the 5 teams.
But
he's
it's always
been on.
elevated them though. Every single team he's played on has his play style.
They've gotten better,
them.
but I'm saying like he hasn't in this situation. He's gonna have to adjust his play style because in the other situations he's at the very least been a 2. In this situation he's at the most the number 3 option. So he's gonna have to adjust his play style, and he hasn't done that on any of the 5 teams he's been on. Obviously, the first couple ones you don't need to because he was the star player. But these last 2 stops,
I think Philly he did what he needed to do.
And honestly, that's too. Like I know in the playoffs he was getting buckets. He was scoring a lot, but throughout the year he was
doing shit in the playoffs. But
he was hurt.
Oh, yeah. Throughout the year though he was that's like the Nets is where he started being more just straight point guard. You know, like
that's what they've asked.
Because on the Rockets, obviously he was putting up a million points, but. On his stints with Brooklyn and with Philly, he was going more towards the 20, and he was averaging 20 and 11, 20 and 10. So I feel like if he can, obviously maybe not average 20, considering there's so many people on this team right. Well, not so many people, but there's Kawhi and PG. Right. But if he can get a 16 and 10, like I think that will put them. Barring health, it's not the only reason I feel like they will never make it is health. I think at the end of the day, like they're not gonna finish.
But having this piece, then like
Kawhi just played it back to back for like the first time.
They know what's up.
Yeah, his knees probably look like fucking fall off the bone.
Also, getting Harden allows these players to rest and them still competing to win games.
I'll say
everybody
that.
Can rest
for regular season, you can rest these guys now because you got Harden and he can go out there with either one of them or maybe even just him and Westbrook and can get you wins on some nights. So regular season wise, it's a big dub. I'll agree with you on that. They should be fine.
Did you guys see that graphic for like the title contending odds?
Them getting higher.
Like
are they not
higher?
A contender?
They went to 1. I don't know.
No, they went to like they went like 12% from like 4 or like 3. What was the number?
They jumped from like 5 to 1 or something.
At their best, they can win it all.
We've been saying that for the Clippers forever.
They're still not better. I still don't think they're better than the
Celtics are way better than them.
The Celtics are way better than them.
Like I think there's a gap. I think there's a gap between them.
Position for position.
No, I'm taking the Celtics clear.
Celtics beat them.
Clear. They clear the
position. Drew Holiday or James Harden.
Drew Holiday.
Depends on what you need for the team, though, right?
In their situation,
no, but I mean,
if Drew Holiday was on the Celtics, he'd be better.
James Harden can impact the team more than Drew Holiday can.
The Clippers
at their best.
The Clippers would be better off with Drew Holiday than James Harden.
Oh yeah,
but it's not even.
Yeah.
But it's
another
not even,
two-way demon.
But it's not even. That's not the
same
comparison.
with the Celtics.
The comparison is damn near Westbrook and Drew because they.
I mean,
right now, because right now,
Porzingis
is looking great.
And the 2 wings versus the 2 wings.
It's like you're not choosing Porzingis over Kawhi Leonard.
Well, we don't know what
No, but you're choosing Tatum and Brown versus Kawhi and PG. It's pretty comparable.
It's close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That like cancels out, and then the rest of the team.
But the other niggas is young and healthy.
I'm taking the rest of the Celtics.
It's close though. It is close. They can compete.
No, Derek White is better than any. No, Derek White is better than any of the fifth player on the
Derek White shits on a lot of people.
We got.
I'll give you that.
Derek White shits on a lot of players.
Taking Payne Pritchard, bro. Like
no. The Clippers bench. He played pretty decent. Nah, they stink.
There's the other white dude that jumps up.
They did get
Cornette. It'll be a close matchup. That would be good to watch.
I think the Celtics are better though. Definitely in the starting lineup.
I think they've been the best team in the NBA right now. Celtics.
For sure. They just had 2 back-to-back 50 bombs. Like Tatum hasn't played in the fourth quarter 2 games.
I think the Bucks beat them too, in my opinion, if they were to play. I think
the Bucks have had issues.
They've had issues, but if I had to choose a team to win in that game, I'm picking the Bucks. More so than I'm picking the Clippers right now in that scenario.
Oh, with the Clippers?
Then the Clippers.
This will be an
experiment. What's that? Like in that case, I wouldn't want to judge them versus the Bucks until we actually see them. I feel like I could safely say the Celtics are probably better, but when it comes to the Clippers versus Bucks, because the Bucks have been struggling, so I would rather
Clippers at their best would be.
Nuggets are better than them too. I pick Nuggets,
sure.
Dude. How are they cruising still, bro? Like it's. I know they got, but
like it's not just.
It's like
they have the best fit team in the league. I
swear, man. It's
every
crazy.
position is perfect. Jamal Murray with the pick and roll.
Nigga, what the fuck?
No, but Jamal Murray pick and roll with Jokic,
dude,
perfect. Aaron Gordon on the cuts and just being that glue guy, hustle guy, perfect. KCP,
bro, watching them play as a Laker fan pisses me off because. I'm glazing sore. They're a well-oiled machine, bro. It's crazy. But am I wrong though? Am I wrong?
The system's amazing, and Jokic
is also amazing.
Even off the bench, off the bench, they've had enough contributions this year where it's like Reggie Jackson's had games. Even Peyton Watson, he's getting it on defense.
Chris Brown's a dog on that team. Like, dude, like what? Like
everybody knows their roles, so
that's
facts.
Now,
no calls.
Is when niggas get a deep bomb and is holding.
Oh my god, free 50 yards. Free 50 yards.
They throw it sometimes just for it, and then like
Josh Allen special.
No, I was talking about like
when my fantasy player scores a touchdown and it's like holding because the offensive lineman
Yeah,
grabs
that's
like
what I'm saying,
this much of the other player's shirt. I'm
when
like,
an
bro.
offensive lineman sells a big play, dude, like that shit makes
it
me so
matters
mad.
too.
Like,
That's the funny thing. Like
that shit
that
be making me
little
so
touch
angry,
matters
dude,
for
like-
a huge play.
But they be letting some stuff go and they be calling.
No,
us, like, when they sell
the
the
worst
replays.
ones is like 3rd and like 28. They convert it and it's a hold. That's just a back-breaking
crazy.
play right there. That's the type of play that loses you like a
just
season.
walk off the field.
Shouldn't hold,
Yeah.
or-
Everybody just walk home.
Yeah, you know the
Right.
very next play is like a 1-yard run just because they're like done with the fucking
Do you want to do the quiz
possession.
first on me?
No, we'll do that last.
Okay.